I'm from the Netherlands. I'm from conmoos.com, and we do everything about conventions and movies and series, and we write a lot.
Geeks and super nerds.
Yeah.
That's
Right at home.
Good crowd.
Do you want to introduce yourselves? Obviously we know who you are, but it'd just be nice. Is that alright?
I'm Alex Vincent. I do a lot of things, but I guess you guys just know one thing. Chucky movies. That's why I'm here.
I'm Rick Grimes.
Oh my god.
I'm the real Rick Grimes.
Damn.
I grew up in it. Sorry. Sorry, brother.
Cecil Garner, Cecil Grimes. I'm a Rick Grimes cosplayer, impersonator, featured all over the world to do photos and make people happy killing things. So it's a joy to be here.
Awesome, should we start? Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules. Thank you to our artists. So let's have a round of applause for them. Thank you so much. So has anyone got any burning questions for our wonderful artists here? Ask away.
Well, this is a good press conference.
Yeah. I hope you have
Come on,
questions.
guys.
Otherwise.
Don't be scared, we're all ready for you.
How are you finding being in the UK, in Manchester?
I love it here. I love it here. I've been here quite a few times.
Yes.
I was over here in I think it was late 80s, early 90s, wrestling Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks and all of them. So yeah, I've spent my time in England, and I love it here.
How about yourself?
First time in Manchester, and I just got off the plane this morning at 7 a.m. Took my layover nap, and now I'm just now seeing stuff, so I've got a lot to discover.
Yeah, my first time in Manchester. Also, it's my third time in England this year, though. I came back in June to see Nine Inch Nails at Royal Albert Hall. It was a lot of fun. And I went to Amsterdam and saw them there. I did a convention in Birmingham back last October. A couple years back I was in Milton Keynes, which there wasn't much to do except go in a circle.
That is pretty much it.
Yeah.
I've got some Milton Keynes stories and they're all just
Roundabouts, that's it. Yeah, I'm always happy to be here.
Fantastic. Any other questions from anyone?
So, Tyler, you said you binge watched Halloween with the exception of one of those.
No exception of 3.
Exception of 3?
Yes, because
Okay.
Michael Myers does not appear in it.
Oh, sorry, I meant as in one movie, but yeah, number 3.
Yes.
What other horror franchises have you ever binge watched like that?
Oh God. Tried it with Jaws, but the first one's the best one. And that's about it. Because the best killer is Michael Myers. It's either a shark or Michael Myers. So, you know.
Chucky will argue with that.
I see a collaboration in the making.
Send Chucky around later.
Yeah, well, Chucky, you know.
Halloween at sea. It's gonna happen.
Halloween versus Sharknado, that's where you need to go.
No. No, it's a good thing you're press and
Yes.
not a producer, because you would kill me.
What else we got, guys?
Any other questions?
Yeah, so what do you think contributed to the longevity of Michael Myers as a character? He's existed through many different installments and films.
Yeah, I mean, it's the franchise. It's everyone is different, and they're fantastic stories, and Michael Myers is the ultimate killing machine on land, you know? I mean, you have Jason, you have Freddy Krueger, little Chucky, all these guys, but Michael Myers is the ultimate land shark.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see this new movie.
You have not seen it yet either, right?
I have not.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, what is your view on the current state of horror and slashers in particular? Because they've obviously gone on for so many years. What do you think has to be done for it to become, well, keep being fresh, keep being new, keep being engaging?
You know, that's the thing. It's horrors are hit and miss. It's just like any other movie. It's something you just gotta put your heart and soul into it and see what happens, and hopefully the audience takes to it. That's all you can hope for as a producer and as an actor in them. And to be a part of this franchise, I am just so thrilled and excited, and I'm so excited to hand the torch to James and see what he can do with it. Because I mean, frankly, I've done two, and I always like to up the ante every time. And after the second one I did, I don't know what I'd have to do. I'd have to rip somebody's head off or something to, you know, to get to that next level. So I'm very happy and glad to hand the torch.
I mean, why do you think people are captivated by horror so much as a genre?
Because it scares the hell out of them, and it gets them out of their own reality. I mean, if people are, you know, let's face it, we all deal with a bunch of shit in our lives, and it's a way to release, you know, and to realize that some people have a little shittier life than us that's getting killed by these guys, you know, and it's a great escape.
It's fear without the consequence. You know, you can a lot of these movies, especially the franchisable ones that have continued, kind of tap into inherent fears that most people have, whether it's the inanimate coming to life or an immortal killer that you can't take down in normal means. So yeah, I think it's living vicariously in that fear without the consequence of getting your own stomach slashed open or whatever.
Can I ask you about the Child's Play franchise, if that's okay?
Sure.
So obviously, I'm a massive fan of the films. The last I heard with Don Mancini's version, it was moving towards TV. Am I allowed to ask you about your opinion on this remake that's happening? Because obviously you're in the proper Child's Plays.
Sure. Thank you.
Yes.
Well, you know, I'm hesitant to even call it a remake. I think it's a reimagining.
Sounds like a fancy word for remake.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
There's no Charles Lee Ray. They had limited rights. They had rights to the name Child's Play. They had rights to the basic image of the doll, as far as I understand it. But they don't have rights to the Charles Lee Ray character and other different little subtleties of the story that they don't have the right to use. So this new MGM film is about a artificial intelligence doll gone wrong. It's not Charles Lee Ray. It's not voiced by Brad Dourif. It's not created by either Kevin Yeager or Tony Gardner. So nobody who was involved in the franchise is involved with this film.
So they've remade Small Soldiers and called it Child's Play?
More or less, yeah.
Have they approached you about doing a cameo like they do for... No?
No, and I wouldn't.
No. So, can I be slightly cheeky and ask, the TV series that Don Mancini spoke about, is that still...
Moving forward.
Yeah.
Moving forward, yeah. I don't know the specifics of what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say. And I obviously wouldn't say any plot ideas, but what I've heard... things are moving forward, and I like the way that they're shaping up. So
And a follow-on from Cult?
it would be a continuation of Cult of Chucky, yeah. Cult opens up a lot of new doors with changing the rules a little bit and the limitations that Chucky's had on him. So yeah, this opens up a lot of opportunities. If we have a chance to tell 8 or 10 or 12 hours of the story instead of 90 minutes, I think it's a really good, exciting, and fun move.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Can I ask, just what kind of mentality do you have to play kind of like a big villain such as Myers? Or, yeah, I mean, you played Sabretooth as well in X-Men, which was, you know, that started a whole franchise in itself. So what is it to get in the sort of mentality of playing a bad guy, as it were?
You know, you just got to do your research and just have fun with it, and take it to the next level, where people will be hopefully scared and feared of the character, you know. For Michael Myers, I did all my research on serial killers to see how they interact in society and stuff like that, and I read the X-Men comic books, and you just want to help create that character and take it to the next level, type of thing.
What are each of your favourite horror films of 2018?
Oh, jeez.
Well, I'm hoping Halloween. I'm pretty sure it will be. I've heard nothing but great things. I'm excited for it.
I think this is the first time I'm seeing a horror film in the theater this year, so it would have to be this one, I guess. And I like that Quiet Place. What is that called? Don't make a Quiet Place. I liked it. I had no backstory at all. I hadn't heard of it at all. I turned it on knowing nothing, so I enjoyed it. I thought the acting was really good, and I liked that. I liked it. I prefer generally, and this goes against all of our franchises of everyone that I've ever met at every convention, basically.
Don't say musicals.
No, certainly not. No, but I generally prefer horror films that are possible and that doesn't have a supernatural element. You know, like people with bags on their heads outside of your windows, stuff that can happen, and that is a fear that I think is relatable. So yeah, I tend to prefer those type of horror films, but I enjoy the really gory kills as much as everyone in this room does.
What about you, Cecil?
Oh, I'm still making that determination. I'm a big demonic possession type of horror film guy. When it comes to the slash and kill and stab, that's just what I do every day. So it's kind of, I'm kind of numb to that. So I like the other aspects, but I still haven't found a favorite as of yet. So we're hoping that something's going to pop up.
You slash and kill and stab every day?
I do.
Oh,
I
man.
do. What are you doing later?
I'm not hanging out with you.
How did you get into cosplaying and at conventions, aside from having a, you know, look of the guy, the look of the person you cosplay?
Yeah.
I just had the look. Oh,
Yo.
you know, oh, sorry. I thought you were asking me.
It's not the Herschel.
Sorry. My bad.
No, I started growing out the beard, and it was what, I guess, the missing aspect, and I actually was too busy working my other job to even stay up with The Walking Dead until this came about. And so I started growing this out. I couldn't go anywhere. People were taking pictures of me. People were sneaking pictures of me, which was awesome. I was like, what are they doing? Like,
Yeah.
this? This is before I even started all this. I was like, oh, that's awesome. So I figured it out and won the Rick Grimes, U.S. Rick Grimes lookalike contest, on the internet for the Walker Stalker convention, which is the Walking Dead convention. And so I started getting invited to conventions. And when you cosplayer gets invited to a convention, they usually sit on the table and they sell 3, 4, 5 pictures of what they've done, all the different cosplays. I'm kind of a one-trick pony in that aspect. So I was like, how do I not feel like awkward sitting in front of a table with 2 pictures, So I started to build a set so people could kind of do a selfie with me involved in The Walking Dead, and it turned into 10 foot by 20 foot, 16 feet high. I did the prison, and then I did Alexandria, and because of those sets, I've been featured, coast to coast in the U.S., and now when I go overseas, they build sets for me to walk into based on my model, and people have jumped. I call it set play, the evolution of cosplay, and it's caught on like fire because people need to step up. I'm completely in awe of cosplay. The costumes they make, the huge stuff, I love it. But when people start to build sets around those cosplays, they're taken up to a next level, and everybody's following suit, and it's wonderful to see. And
Cool.
so because of what
Set play, I like that.
Set play.
You gotta get your name on that financially.
Yeah,
somehow.
.com. So Walking Dead alone, there was no cosplayers doing paid photo ops at these Walking Dead conventions. Now, as of Atlanta's next week, Atlanta Walker Stalker is the biggest Walking Dead convention in the biggest city other than London. Yeah. And there's at least 7 different groups doing the same thing. Every year it's been added a few more, so it's caught on in Italy. There's an Italy group that's wonderful. They do their sets, they do reenactments, they act in conventions.
Wow.
They do a full theatrical thing going on.
It's like the tribute band of horror
right.
movies.
Exactly, and it's all based on The Walking Dead. Hopefully their numbers increase. But that's how it started.
With Andrew Lincoln looking to leave the show, are you looking at changing your gimmick maybe, or doing like Love Actually? Christmas is coming up, so you could do
the signs.
Love Actually, yeah.
I don't have to use the accent at all.
Give us an example of the accent, and now you've raised it.
Which one? Carl.
No. Andrew Lincoln's accent.
Oh no. I'm in England. They're asking me to do an English accent.
You're gonna have to work. You'll have to work on it for next year.
That's a tough crowd. But his accent's very light. It's very subtle. So you could just do a little. I actually, funny story. I was in a convention in Manila, Philippines, and I go up to the executive lounge, and there's a bunch of pilots drinking. And I
Well,
put
that's
on,
good.
Yeah, right. Right, exactly.
They weren't flying the plane.
And I had the hat on, and they're like, "Oh, come over." And I play my British accent, and the one guy said, "What borough are you from outside of London?" I could hear the. I was like, I have no idea what kind of accent I'm doing, but that's cool that you think I'm from there. So it's a work in progress. But I use the Southern accent. It's so easy to try to do it right. Stay alive.
I'm waiting for your This Life cosplay.
My what?
This Life cosplay.
Oh yeah.
This Life.
You've got to look into Andrew Lincoln's filmography, some of the British TV shows. Teachers would
Yes.
be the other one.
Oh yes. I've researched him when I started doing it to see what he was in. I said, who is this guy? And I've seen all the other things he's done. With him being, well, I've got people on the inside of the show, but he's going to be leaving the show in 6 episodes in this season. And if he's killed off or just open-ended, and he might pop back up, we'll see. But whenever there's someone exiting the show, interest in that character explodes. So I've got a good, this season covered. And then next season, next year, will still be a boom because he's no longer in the show and people miss him. Now after that year, I've been doing this, 5 years of that time. I'm kind of going to move on to the Atlanta acting scene. I've got a lot of offers for film, and we'll see if Cecil
Someone will be
Garner,
dressing like you in a few
yeah,
years.
somebody cosplay Cecil Garner. That'd be awesome. And see if I can prove myself in the real world instead of the cosplay world.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the question.
Any more questions?
Yeah, so what's all of you, your favorite movie of all time?
That's such a loaded question.
Favorite like horror movies?
No, just movie in general.
Just a movie.
Oh wow.
That's mine.
I'd have to say, like, for horror wise, it's The Shining and Jaws.
Yeah. I would agree with The Shining as far as horror goes. So all-time favorite film? I don't know. I'd like to name something more obscure because everybody could say The Godfather and everybody could say, so I'm going to say Man on Fire. It's my favorite.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I love that film.
Horror Exorcist. That's what started all the Damien franchise. All of those. When you're a kid, you think it's real type of that persona. So and even Poltergeist.
Yeah.
I thought that. I went back and watched that years later. I'm like, what was I thinking? But it was still, it's a classic, and it's gonna live on forever. So.
Yeah, I was at a convention a few years ago, and the guy from The Omen was there.
Yeah, the Omen.
And he said he didn't even know he was in a horror movie when he was doing the movie. What was it like for you?
I knew I was in a horror movie.
Yeah. But
I had the
yeah.
entire script memorized when I was 6. All of my lines, all of everybody else's lines. To the point where if someone ad-libbed a little bit, I'd be like, wait, cut, that's not how the line goes. They have to tell me, no, it's okay. And then they did revisions, which was devastating to me at that age.
Wow. Yeah.
But no, I knew it was a horror movie. I knew exactly that we had to make it look like the doll was trying to kill me. I knew
Yeah,
that,
okay.
Yeah.
Were you allowed to watch it afterwards? 'Cause I
Oh,
know,
yeah.
Tyler, you did press junkets with younger you, and he said that his mum stopped him from watching, I think, anything other than, he said, like the first 4 or 5 minutes or something, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he got to watch his stuff, and then he was out.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Were you given the same mum treatment?
No, I went to a premiere. I saw the whole thing. And matter of fact, I was pretty much allowed to watch whatever I wanted after that because I was already in an R-rated film. So it was a good talking point to convince my mother to let me see pretty much whatever I wanted. So no, that
Scarred for
wasn't an
life.
issue. Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
I mean, was there a particular moment, I mean, you've mentioned your favourite film, there's a particular moment that made you think you wanted to get into this industry?
Well, I was very, very young when I made that decision. I was like 5 years old.
Well, it's even better to wonder why, I mean, what
Well, for me, there was a girl who lived down the street from me, a girl that I knew who was doing commercials, and she did one of those, I don't even know if you guys know of these out here, but this is your brain on drugs commercials that was very popular in the 80s. She did one of those commercials, and I saw her on TV when I was 5, and I said, I want to do that. And, you know, my mother went along with it and took me out to her manager out in New York. And I was a fan of things older than me my whole childhood, like...
You're quite a mature kind of young person.
I guess, yeah, I was like 6 years old watching like Billy Crystal stand up and wanted to be on SNL, and when I was 6, none of my other friends really gave a shit about that. So yeah, I was a very intelligent 6-year-old. I was way smarter then than I am now, definitely. It's partially intentional. But,
And did you have a moment that made you think you wanted to get into that sort of area?
Oh yeah, I was a tall, skinny kid, glasses and braces. I was picked on in school. I would run home from school and sit on the weekends and watch pro wrestling, the Hearts, and then I would start watching action films, you know. And I was like, someday I'm going to be doing both of these. And I'd end the weekend with Wonderful World of Disney, and I'd hope for Davy Crockett.
yeah.
And, you know, luckily I got to pro wrestling for 11.5 years, and now I'm doing the film. And it's got to play a lot of really cool characters, you know, so I got no regrets.
Did you go back and wrestle for Vince for a big pay-per-view
No.
if you had the chance?
No. Do not miss that at all.
No.
Do not miss that at all.
I could see why not.
So did you come up in Canada, did you say, with the wrestling? The Heart?
Yeah, I grew up in Saskatchewan. I'm a Saskatoon boy. And I went and trained with Stu Hart in the dungeon, and I did all of that. And then the WWF came in, Red Bastien, and I went to Los Angeles, trained with Red and Mondo Guerrero from the Guerrero family. And that's where I got my training. And here we are sitting here in Manchester talking about
Do you know what?
wrestling and movies.
I completely forgot. I was in a horror room then. I was like, nah, just wrestling.
I was a massive wrestling fan.
Did you
when I was
ever
young.
go out partying with the Nature Boy then?
Yeah, well, yeah. I was one of the last people to wrestle Andre the Giant in Japan, too.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we all got a round of applause for that, you know what that's like. What was it like wrestling Andre? Obviously, because he was...
It was
big.
fantastic. He was a super sweet gentleman.
Did you get to see his documentary, the HBO movie about him fairly recently?
I've seen parts of it. Yeah, yeah. He was a great guy. He could drink his wine.
Yeah.
I've heard you can.
What?
Oh.
Are you moving on to whiskey now?
Oh, damn.
What time is it?
No, I've been a Scotch drinker and a whiskey drinker, and I was going to the wine to give my liver a little bit of a break. I'll be back to the whiskey soon.
Yeah.
Whiskey's pleased to hear that.
Yeah, there we go.
Stock just shot up.
I've got a question for you. Have you got any cool set stories that you'd like to tell us? Like anything that we probably wouldn't have heard, like a story, something that happened on set?
Nope. Not anything I can tell.
What's one that you can't tell?
Only story I have that some people find interesting if they haven't read yet is that in Child's Play 1, when Aunt Maggie is sitting there reading a book and Chucky runs across the hallway real fast, the logistics of the height of Ed Gale, who played basically Chucky in motion in scenes where you would see his full body in motion, wasn't right. They tried building an oversized set to change the perspective and make it look right. That didn't work. They couldn't logistically figure out a way for the puppet to run at that speed. So one of the days that my mother didn't go to set and my dad happened to bring me and my sister, my dad signed the permission slip to let my 3-year-old sister be Chucky. And she ran across, they put her in a Chucky costume and she ran across. So in the whole 7-film franchise, the very first time you ever see Chucky in motion was my little sister Ashley.
Wow.
Yeah, she's really running with it too. She just started a band called First Chucky,
Oh yeah.
Never mind.
Ari's gonna be pissed.
That's okay.
Cool, last few questions before we wrap it up.
If you guys could be any character ever, a character that really inspires you, a character that is really cool, who would you be?
Frankenstein.
Yeah. Wish I was taller and skinnier and could be the Crow. That would be fun.
I've cosplayed the Crow a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good character.
That's almost certainly due a reboot, isn't it?
I hope not.
Right?
I
I
don't know.
know. Sometimes you just want to.
They kind of did every sequel seemed like a reboot with that
I mean a
franchise.
proper one, though.
Yeah, yeah. No, they shouldn't touch it.
Final questions?
I mean, what are you hoping from the Halloween film? And with that.
Me?
Yeah, well, yeah, all of you.
What are we hoping for the film
Yeah.
tonight? I think it's just going to be cool to, you know, see Jamie Lee Curtis in a horror film again, right? I don't feel like she's done one since the last Halloween movie. And yeah, always to see, you know, the effects that they use and stuff, and what kind of killings there are, and how bloody it can get.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know, I'm sure Tyler has a more analytical point of view of what.
No, I just want to see
Michael would
Michael
do.
at it again, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I want to see him doing his thing. And it not be me, so that when
Yeah.
I see James next time, I can go, boy, that probably hurt, because I know it did when I.
Yeah.
Because people don't realize, I mean, even though the kills are the way they are, it's very taxing on the body, a long day of shooting, you know, 10, 12, 14, 16 hours a day, trying to kill people. That's hard, you know? It wears you out. You need a good, you know, bottle of wine and a cigar after that, you know? But yeah, so.
Yeah, these 6 second action sequences that you see, you really have to realize how much, you know, sometimes that is a day or two to make one little sequence look as good as it did on the film. It's a ton of work.
Have any of you ever received an offer for promotional materials related to characters you played or characters you cosplayed?
I don't know.
I'm guessing
shit.
for you
I
it's
don't
probably
know.
like Sabatia Night.
It would go to, they'd ask
Yeah.
Universal in my case, and probably Tyler's, but
Yeah, I don't deal with them.
yeah.
Yeah, AMC, they haven't knocked on my door, but they did come check out my set. The funny story is, the second year I did my set, someone had told the bigwigs from AMC were there at Walker Stalker, and it was a huge line to get photos, so it was crazy. I had new people working my lines.
Yeah.
After it was all done and everything was done for the day, she said, really weird, this guy in the suit and tie came back down, and he said he was from AMC, and they told him to come down and check out your set.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Making sure you recreated
who
it,
was it?
steal things off of the.
So I bring up the list of faces in AMC, and it was the director of Sundance and AMC channel. And I was like, okay, how was that? Was he was a good impressed, or is a cease and desist about to be mailed to me? So it didn't
By
get
making
much.
sure you built everything and didn't steal anything.
Right. Well, the funny thing was, when I built my set and all my signage and everything, I had an intellectual attorney analyze it to see if I
Oh,
was
okay.
stepping any toes. So when you see my set, there's nothing that says Walking Dead. It's all Cecil Grimes cosplay, zombie
Yeah.
photo op experience. I don't use Walker because they get really sensitive about using the word Walker. That's their word. So I wanted to
It's
make
not,
sure
but
that
they
what
like
I was
this,
doing,
yeah.
was not going to tick any people off anytime soon. Since then, I put Walking Dead cosplay because everybody's in it. If they're gonna sink my boat, everybody's boat's gonna go down. So I feel a little safe there. But no, they haven't asked me to be on the set. They haven't asked me to be set builder. They got a stunt double, a body double, and a stand-in for Rick. But the same guys they've had since season 1, so it's part of the family. And again, I'm on tour so much, couldn't turn it down. But
No.
they haven't asked. So not yet, but I have been picked up. I started The Road to Sanctuary, which is a spin-off. Rick has a brother in the comic, is presumed dead. I ran with that, and finally got some people out of California that want to produce it for me. So we'll see if it grows new life when I get that done.
So a social link for that yet?
What's that?
Any social link for that yet?
Is there a link for it online?
Yeah, roadtosanctuary.com. Not the best website, but it's there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. We're going to wrap it up now. Thank you so much to Tyler, Cecil, and Alex. I'll give them a big round of applause.
Thank you, guys. Y'all coming this weekend? All right, we'll see you this weekend then.
Fantastic. Thank
You
you
didn't
so
want to
much,
ask a
guys.
question
Really
here, ask
appreciate
it
it.
there.
Thank you.